They say if you sit in Kofi's chair, you might never stand up again. Not with your head, anyway. I remember the first time I heard the whispers. People were talking about how Kofi's barber shop was too good. How his customers seemed to leave with a new glow, an energy that didn't seem natural. Some folks just shook their heads and said it was the best haircut they'd ever had. But others just never came back. And one night, I saw what was hiding in his back room. Kofi was just an ordinary barber at first. He came from another town, started with a small, rundown shop at the edge of the market, where few people went. But even then, his skills were undeniable. People said he had a magic touch, that his scissors moved with a kind of rhythm, a smoothness that made him the talk of the village in just a few months. Soon, everyone wanted a cut from Kofi. Men, women, even little children lined up outside his shop. His prices were high, but it didn't matter, he was the best. It was like he had some secret technique that no one could understand, some magic that made everyone look their best. I'd watch from across the street, curious. I'd see people going in looking ordinary, worn out from life. But they'd leave his shop with this glow, this strange confidence. Kofi had become more than a barber, he was almost like a healer, like someone who could change people with just a trim and a shave. But then, people started disappearing. At first, no one noticed. It was just a person here, a person there, a few whispers, but nothing anyone would look into. People leave, we thought. People have debts, problems, reasons to disappear. But soon, it was too many people to ignore. All of them had one thing in common, they'd been to Kofi's shop. It was my cousin Adam who first put it together. One night, he came to me, his face pale, his hands shaking. He told me that one of his friends, Kwaku, had gone to Kofi's for a shave and never came back. He said the last time he saw Kwaku, he looked nervous, like he'd seen something he couldn't talk about. He said there's something strange in Kofi's shop, Adam whispered, glancing over his shoulder as though Kofi himself might be listening. Something in the back room. I didn't believe him at first. Kofi was a barber, maybe an odd one, but nothing more. But Adam's fear got to me, and soon I found myself standing outside the barber shop late one night, watching. The lights were on, but the door was locked. I crept around the back, pressing my ear to the wall. Inside, I heard a sound I couldn't place at first, a low, scraping noise, like metal against bone. And then, I heard a faint whisper, chanting something I didn't understand. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. I went back with Adam, determined to find out the truth. The shop was empty, the street dark. But the back door was open, as if Kofi was inviting us in. The moment we stepped inside, the smell hit us, something foul, something rotten. The main room was clean, as usual, everything in its place. But the door to the back room was slightly open, and from inside, I could hear that same scraping noise, the strange whispers that sent chills down my spine. Adam and I pushed open the door, and there, on a table, was the worst sight I'd ever seen. Heads. Human heads, lined up in a row, their eyes closed, their skin pale. Some were fresh, others shriveled and dark, as if they'd been there for weeks. My stomach twisted, and I thought I might be sick. Adam stumbled back, covering his mouth, his face white with horror. And there, in the middle of the room, was Kofi, his hands covered in blood, a wicked smile on his face. Kofi, what is this? I managed to stammer, my voice barely above a whisper. He looked at me, his eyes cold, lifeless. They give me power, he said, his voice calm, as if he was talking about nothing more than a haircut. Each head, each soul, it makes me stronger. It brings more customers. More fame. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The man we'd all admired, the man everyone in town had trusted, he was a monster. Before we could run, Kofi grabbed a knife from the table and lunged at us. Adam and I stumbled back, barely dodging his attack. He was fast, faster than I'd expected, his movements sharp and precise, like a man possessed. "You're not leaving," he hissed, his eyes gleaming with a strange light. "You're both mine now." you'll be the next to bring me luck. But Adam grabbed the heavy tool from the floor and swung it at him, catching him off guard. Kofi stumbled, and we took our chance, running out of the shop and into the dark street. We didn't stop until we were far from the market, our breaths coming in ragged gasps. The next day, we told the elders, but when they went to Kofi's shop, he was gone. The back room was empty, the heads, the blood, everything had vanished, as if it had never been there. Kofi had disappeared, just like his victims. Word spread, and soon everyone in town knew the truth, or at least, part of it. People cursed his name, calling him a demon, a ritualist. No one knew where he'd gone, but the stories followed him. Some say he fled to another town, that he started his dark work all over again in a new place where no one knew his face. Others say the spirits of his victims finally caught up to him, that they dragged him into the darkness, where he could never escape. But I know the truth. Sometimes, at night, I still hear that scraping sound, that whisper of metal against bone. And I know that somewhere, Kofi is still cutting. If you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and share this video. Thanks for watching.